All right, what's up, Reefer Revolutionaries? DC here. Boo Boo chiming in the corner. Good timing, Boo Boo. What's up, everybody? Had to go live because I just found this out thanks to Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moment. He published this actually a couple hours ago, but it's a case that we've been following, going out over DC 420 LA on YouTube, on Steam It through DLive, and a couple other places as well. But we've been following this case. If you've been following us on YouTube and on Twitter at DC 420 LA, the federal cannabis lawsuit that we reported on last week, and on Sunday's show, we did not have a decision by the judge in New York whether to dismiss or not. We were hopeful that it would be dismissed, or rather not dismissed, would not be dismissed, because that was the U.S. government's position, that they wanted to have the case dismissed. The case, of course, brought in a federal court in New York City by, among other folks, 4 plaintiffs. Alexis Bortel was the one in particular that we have been following here on DC 420 LA. And I just want to bring up Alexis's Twitter feed here, where she says we always knew that is where we were going, implying the Supreme Court of the United States. I will face AG Sessions in person. He is wrong about me and my patient friends. If we had won it, would be USA appealing. Either way, it's okay. So they will be appealing, I believe it's to the Second Circuit in New York. And it will most likely head toward the Supreme Court of the United States, which is really where this case belongs. And just to read a little bit here from Tom Angel's piece here. I'm going to make it a little bigger so I can actually read it. A federal district court judge in Manhattan has dismissed a lawsuit challenging marijuana's status under the Controlled Substances Act. Plaintiffs in the case, which argues that cannabis is improperly classified in the most restrictive category of Schedule I, include former NFL player Marvin Washington and a 12-year-old girl who treats epilepsy with medical marijuana. That would be Alexis. Continuing from Marijuana Moment. Judge Alvin K. Hellerstein ruled on Monday that advocates have, quote, failed to exhaust their administrative remedies, unquote, to alter cannabis's legal status and should pursue challenges through the administration and Congress instead of the courts. Quote, plaintiff's claim is an administrative one, not one premised on the Constitution, unquote, he wrote, and, quote, is best understood as a collateral attack on the various administrative determinations not to reclassify marijuana into a different drug schedule. Legalization advocates have long argued that marijuana is improperly classified in Schedule I, which is supposed to be reserved for drugs with no medical value and a high potential for abuse. A key claim of the lawsuit is that there is no rational basis for that categorization. But Hellerstein wrote that, quote, it is clear that Congress had a rational basis for classifying marijuana in Schedule I, and executive officials in different administrations have consistently retained its placement there. Even if marijuana has current medical uses, I cannot say that Congress acted irrationally in placing marijuana in Schedule I, unquote. Continuing, Tom Angle writes, however, the judge, who observers say appeared moved by anecdotes about the plaintiff's medical use of cannabis during oral arguments, wrote that he does not reject out of hand the notion that marijuana can be beneficial. Quoting from the ruling, I emphasize that this decision is not on the merits of the plaintiff's claim. Plaintiff's amended complaint, which I must accept as true for the purpose of this motion, claims that the use of medical marijuana has, quite literally, saved lives. One plaintiff, in this case, Alexis Bortel, suffers from intractable epilepsy, a severe seizure disorder that once caused her to experience multiple seizures every day. After years of searching for viable treatment options, Alexis began using medical marijuana. Since then, she has gone nearly 3 years without a single seizure. Jaeger Cote, another plaintiff in the case, suffers from a rare congenital disease known as Lay's disease, which kills approximately 95% of those afflicted before they reach the age of 4. This is the judge talking now. After turning to medical marijuana, Jaeger's life has been extended by 2 years, and his pain has become manageable. I highlight plaintiff's experience to emphasize that this decision should not be understood as a factual finding that marijuana lacks any medical use in the United States, for the authority to make that determination is vested in the administrative process. So, thanks again to Tom Engel for catching this a couple hours ago, this decision out of New York City. And we will, of course, be covering it on The Week in Weed next Sunday in detail. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Get notifications for when we do go live. And going out over D-Live as well on Steemit. Thank you for watching. Yes, Cheetah, I know this is similar content because it's mine. But thank you very much for looking. Appreciate it. And thanks for watching on D-Live if you are, and any other of the streaming channels that I am restreaming to at the moment. Follow us on Twitter at DC420LA, hashtag DC420LA, and let us know where you are watching this. And if you are on Steemit, drop a note, a comment. Next week, we will be interviewing on Sunday. Probably we may not be able to cover this in complete detail, this story. We'll touch on it with Pat Harris, who is a U.S. Senate candidate running here in California against Dianne Feinstein, who we broke the news yesterday, breaking news that the Democratic Party here in California is not endorsing the anti-prohibitionist Dianne, or rather the last prohibitionist anti-cannabis Dianne Feinstein, for other reasons. But we're gonna say that it's because she's been against legalizing cannabis in California since day one. 24 years of it, and I don't think we need another 6. So she's being primaried by a few progressives, and we're going to have a couple of them here on the show, DC 420 LA. First one next week will be Pat Harris, joining us at 4:20 Pacific. So be sure to follow me here on Steemit, subscribe on YouTube, and join in next week here at DC 420 LA, The Week in Weed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Pot for peace.